Hello there. This is our snake schedule to show you all the snakes that we will have in total. We started with Truffle, that is my Western Hognose snake. J-Man got Pixel, which is the second snake we ever got from Urban Dinos. And then we also got Pan, which is my Ghost Sunkissed corn snake. He's the oddball out. Got him from CE Reptiles, which is a local reptile breeder. We're going to be getting all of these guys within the next 2 days. We're going to film everything we're going to do to get ready for it. Let's get started. We started out by getting several 6-quart bins, and here we're deciding how many rows of holes we want to drill into the side. We decided on doing 2 rows to keep humidity down. So now JR is gonna drill baby drill into the side of this 6-quart bin, 2 rows of holes, that's hard to say, on either side. And we're doing it over this big plastic tub so that we don't get plastic all over the ground. We also have a dog and 2 bunnies to be careful with, and he's having some trouble doing it one-handed while I'm recording, so he's gonna readjust here. And yeah, there you go. Get a foothold, literally. And then you can see him actually drilling holes into the side. Pretty simple. You put it on the highest setting and you push, I learned this later on, gently down and then back up. And then you just make your holes. Some people will use solder. We decided against soldering, even though we did try it one time, because the plastic smell in the air is just really bad. And we didn't want to get cancer or release that stuff in the air. So this is a little bit more difficult, but worth it. And now, as you can see, we have holes in the side of our bins. Now we just have to make them smooth. Nice. Very smooth. Now we have 1 bin drilled, ready to go. We just have to do 5 more of these bins and then make them smooth like this. So that'll take a little bit. Now we sanitize everything. Bowls, tongs, hides, the bins themselves, anything that's going to go into the bins, including things like clutter like these flowers, rocks. All of it has to be sanitized. We use a vinegar isopropyl solution, but we're going to start using chlorhexidine going forward. Now everything's sanitized, we're picking out some rocks that have the roughest, not sharpest, but roughest edges to stick into the tubs so that the snakes have something to rub against in case they go into shed. This is really important to keep in their small tubs as well. Now that everything's sanitized and dry, we have our rocks picked out. We're going to use these flowers that we got from the dollar store. Going to, we tried clipping them off and then later realized that they have wire, which you'll see a little bit later in this video. And you don't actually need to clip them. Save your scissors. We went and got wire clippers and then later realized you can actually just pull these off. They will not break apart. There's like a little, plastic piece at the bottom. You can just slip them right off the stem and you don't have to cut them. You can see I really struggled here and made my husband flinch. And we did not use that flower because it fell on the floor. So now we have everything dried, organized. We have their temporary hides. That small one was Truffle's original bin. And as you can see, I like to have everything labeled, set together nicely. And now we can prepare all the bins using all these little temporary hides and bowls and paper towels as a substrate. And these flowers and leaves will be clutter for enrichment. It's really important to include enrichment. So let's get started. Now the bins are all ready with their temporary hides. We'll be adding in better hides once we get them in the mail. And now all that's left is to wake up in the morning and go pick up our snakes. And the first 4 snakes are pending pickup. They're ready for pickup. Let's go. Now we have our 4 snakes in hand. In this box we have 3 Western Hognoses, which all came from JMG Reptiles. Amazing breeder, probably the top breeder. I asked Jared to show you the logo on the side, but he turns it the wrong way, so fix it after a second, and there you go. JMG Reptile, there's this super cool logo. We also have 1 snake in this box that came from Exotic Firehawk, so we're ready to take these little guys home and unbox them for you. Let's go! So here I was trying really hard not to bounce up and down with excitement. This is going to be the albino superconda that J-Man ordered for from Exotic Fire Hogs as a potential breeding partner, aka girlfriend, for his Axanthic Hognose Pixel. And we got a little envelope, a cute little envelope with an Exotic Firehawk sticker with some goodies inside. And they are stickers! And also a really cool magnet. This first one here is a magnet, so that's going right on our fridge. And yeah, it's really nice looking. We also have some very cool stickers. Obviously, this cool shiny one. We have this other little one with his logo on it. We've got this really nice, kind of thick embossed one. It was just super cool for them to include these. They went all out with these stickers and magnets, man. They look great. And then we get this little care sheet. I'm going to be reading through it for a moment. But he gives us a little congrats on our new hognose and thanks us for the support, gives us some tips on what to do once we bring the snakes out. It's really important that if for any reason the heat pack failed and the snakes inside are cold and not already at room temperature, that we let them sit for a while to warm up to room temperature. putting them directly into an enclosure with a heating pad with a sudden change in temperature can actually shock them, and it's just not a good thing to do. So it's great that he included this info. He also suggested that we don't feed them right away, which we already knew, but super, super impressed with this little care sheet. We will be waiting 3 or 4 days to feed all of the snakes. And yep, we've got the right size bins. We're using paper towels to begin with so we can monitor all of their snaky poos and ensure everything comes out the way it's supposed to. And we will be quarantining them in their respective groups. Chroma will be in one quarantine group. The other 3 snakes from JMG will be in one quarantine group. And then the 2 snakes we get tomorrow will be in their own. So now we've gone through that, we're going to actually pull Chroma out of here. J-Man is being very careful because he's not exactly sure where the little container with the snake is in here. He also checks the heat pack to make sure it's still warm, which it is, which means she's probably still warm, and we can put her into her enclosure. We're still going to let them sit for a bit without heat packs or heat mats, just in case. We don't want to shock their system, and it's pretty warm in the house, so they'll warm up pretty quick. She's a very, very brightly colored snake, and I don't know how well it comes through the camera, but she is bright, kind of this bright orangey pinkish color. She almost looks neon, and unfortunately because we have yellow lighting overhead, it kind of washes all that out, but she is a very beautiful snake. Hence the name Chroma. It also kind of goes along with Pixel. And Jer is going to very carefully pull her out of her deli cup. We're going to weigh them, write down the weights. Well, hello! I right have to say hi. And while I'm recording, I'm trying to get a couple of pictures. Hopefully you can see just how beautiful she is. They put a lot of care into their snakes at Exotic Fire Hogs. I've been really impressed with their husbandry and their care for their animals, and just the beautiful snakes that have come out of their breeding projects. So now she's going to go into her bin, which will be her home for the next 30 days or so. And we've got her on a little food scale that's been tared out so that we can weigh her. She is 16 grams. Hi, baby. And she is a very wiggly noodle. She still is. She's been pretty wiggly and active the whole time. Escape. And that is Chroma. There's her little pink belly, too. And we're going to let her settle in for a bit. Now we are unboxing the 3 hognose babies that came from JMG Reptile. J-Man is being ever so careful. Of course, there's extra packaging at the top. More stickers! Some very nice, very shiny stickers from JMG. Ooh. We'll definitely be putting one of these on one of the tubs. And then your classic non-shiny sticker. I see snakes. So that one is mine. That one's going to be Kale. This is the first one we're going to show you. This is Not in view. There we go. She is an extreme red albino Arctic het sunburst. This means that she has genes for both albino and sable, which creates a sunburst. So not only is she beautiful, she's going to make some beautiful babies. And that tiger striping is just super cool. And what we're going to learn here in a second is that Artemis has great feeding response. She is really hungry. And Jay is not going to notice it at first. I'm going to point it out to him. Wait and see what happens when he first pulls her out here. We're admiring her beauty. And of course, because she's Artemis and we're going to pair her with the sable, we had to name them Artemis and Parzival. Look at that beautiful coloring on the side of her belly. So pretty. And here's where she decides Jay must be food. Hop. And then she's going to try one more time. Nope. We decide maybe she needs to go in her bin. Now, unfortunately, because there's some movement, because the bins are not placed completely evenly. Yeah, okay. So she's 15 grams, but when we removed the water bottle that's been conditioned with Repti Safe to, I guess we hadn't added the water. I'm not sure why we moved that. The weight changed because it's sitting on top of a lid and the bin is sitting on top of the scale. And so we tried to have a second go of it by picking her up and then re-tearing out the scale, but she held on to these flowers and didn't want to let go because she apparently really liked the flowers. So instead we took a little picture of her with the flowers, which you'll see is currently our profile picture for heart scales. And we decided we'll just, I think we put down 17 grams, but going back through and watching this, we'll have to put 15. She's beautiful. So this is J-Man's Arctic Sable with Het Albino that will be pairing with Artemis, who just tried to nom on his hand. The two together should make some very beautiful babies. Oh, that black belly is really pretty. I think I was commenting here that he reminds me of chocolate. He's really gorgeous. A little squirmy, but that's to be understandable. He's nervous and he just went through shipping. We're taking a moment to admire him and to let him calm down before we set him back down again. Jamin is very excited. He really loves the sables. It's understandable. They're really cool snakes. They look very different too from all the other hognoses. We're putting him into his bin. You can go hide, feel comfy. He's a whopping 13 grams. Still a gram bigger than my first hognose of Distruffle. And he's going to be a wonderful addition to our household. We're very excited for him. Good job, buddy. Little worm. This little guy is a Conda Het coral, and we're calling him Kale. His girlfriend, which we'll be getting tomorrow, or rather the day after we filmed this, is going to be Akima, and props if you get the references. Look at that belly. He's so pretty. And he's a Conda Het coral, which means Het albino and Het lavender genes. makes these very pretty kind of pink snake babies. Fortunately, we forgot to record putting him into his tub, as well as his little intro on the logbook. But now that we have all of them unboxed, we just have to get the other 2 snakes the next day. So here we go again. So that morning I decided for some reason to also film myself feeding my dog her breakfast. And just giving you a little extra glimpse into our daily routines, I suppose. Make sure everybody's taken care of before I leave the house. Gotta let her back inside after she had her morning potty. This is Suki. She is my 15-year-old Schnorky or miniature Schnauzer Yorkie mix. I've had her since she was 8 weeks old, and she can't hear anything anymore, so I have to get her attention. And of course she gets overly excited and will just jump into anything, including her water bowl and food bowl. So I have to get her attention and then gently direct her to her food. And she figures out that she's munching. And now I can go get snakes. I've got the last 2 snakes from J&C Hognoses this time to take home and unbox safely in my car. So let's get them home. So here we start the unboxing process for Akima and Aladdin. Akima will be the first one that we take out. And unfortunately, after we open it, both the snakes are perfectly fine. However, we found that the heat pack had failed, and that's nobody's fault. It just happens. But it meant that the temps inside where the snakes were a little too cold, and so we didn't even actually want to handle them right away because even the warmth from our hands could potentially give them a little shock. And checking out the neat little care card that J&C Hognoses sent. Very nice. And we're still going to pull them out so they can more easily... Yep, I'm checking out the heat pack here, and it is definitely dead. It is too cold. So we're going to have to pull them out, let them sit in their deli cups and not handle them for a couple of hours so that they can get up to room temperature. And you can see me gently pulling out the packaging here, making sure I'm not going to accidentally flip the deli cups. There we go. And, oh yeah, more stickers. Yep. We check temps like fiends. And it was definitely, it's colder than we would have liked it. So we'll unwrap them here. Got some more cool stickers. Definitely going to slap one of those on their bins. Thank you, Jancy. And we're just going to take a quick peek at them, just make sure they look okay, but we're going to leave them in their deli cups so they get warm, and then we'll come back and take out Akima and then Aladdin. You can see I struggle a little bit to get her out because she's buried under her substrate, and there's so much of it, it's hard for me to pull her out without, one, knocking a whole bunch of it onto the ground, or two, accidentally having her fly out of my hand while I'm trying to grab her out of the substrate. But I do finally get her out. She's a little agitated now, so she's very flighty, but clearly healthy, very very active. She's very sweet. She didn't hiss or bluff strike or pancake herself even one time. She's very pretty. She even tolerated me giving her little pets on her abdomen. She has beautiful markings. And of course, again, this is the other Conda het coral. She will be paired with Kale when she's older and ready to become a mama. And they will make all kinds of very pretty pink and purple babies. And she's very flighty, and I apologize for the camera angle here. This would be J-Man holding the camera and waiting patiently for me to calmly get Akima into her bin, which takes me a second, but I do manage to get her in there. She'll try to escape out the side, but she's great, and then we just have to unbox Aladdin. Last but not least, our caramel morph. And because he's a sweet, beautiful caramel boy, of course I had to name him Aladdin. So in the future, when we breed a lavender from Akima and Kale, one of those lavender babies will become his girlfriend. Guess what we'll name her? And one day we'll make some pink amethyst babies. Right, he's very sweet, very pretty, beautiful caramely color, cute little black tongue, and he has these gorgeous gold rings around his eyes. So I just kind of let him come out. Unfortunately, we stopped recording before we actually get him into the tub, but we do get him into his bin and get him weighed just like all the others. And that's the last of the 6 snakes that we received from all of these amazing breeders: JMG Reptiles, JNC Hognoses, and exotic fire hogs, to add to the 3 we already had at home, which were Truffle, my very first hognose, who's a gorgeous toffee glow, Pixel, an exanthic, and my oddball out, Pan, the corn snake. Oh, look at the little bleleles. It's a total cutie pie. And all of our snakes turned out to be happy and in perfect condition. We're still going to quarantine them for the next 30 days. And then they'll get into their their quote-unquote rack. It's really just a shelf with tubs. And they'll be staying until they get a little bit older and a little bit bigger. There's Jay's fingers. There he goes. Into your bin, little guy. That is it for our very first video on heart scales. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching our journey of getting these 6 snakes, preparing for them, and unboxing them, getting them into their bins. We'll get them set up here shortly. Aladdin and Akima are already in my library, and these guys we will be moving downstairs on top of my liquor cabinet with some heat tape. They'll have thermostats. Anyway, thanks. A special thanks to JNC Hognoses, JMG Reptile, and of course to Exotic Fire Hogs. You guys made some beautiful, healthy babies. And stick around for our next video where we will be feeding them all in the next 3 or 4 days. Bye everybody. Thank you for watching.